What's up, shipheads? It is draft day. We got a special episode right here. Normally, you know, the Ship It guys, we're taking down movie content. It's our wheelhouse. It's what we love. It's what we live and breathe every single day. But we got our new 90s feed out there now. Party like it's dot 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 90s. And we want to spice it up. We want to tackle some other fun content from the 90s. So on this episode, I'm joined by my buddy Dez, and we're going to be making a little 90s mixtape from the year 1990. How you doing,
Yes,
buddy? Got your
I'm good.
jukebox and
I've
your cassette tapes ready?
I've got my cassette tape recorder. I got the radio playing in the background, so when my favorite song comes on, I can record it and get it on the mixtape. I'm gonna make the most amazing mixtape, and I'm gonna give it to this girl that I like, and then she's totally gonna be into me after that. Like as
You're
soon as
going
she
the
hears
extra mile, right? Every single track number on there and the little
as soon
white
as she
strip.
hears how long it took me to record this thing, she's just gonna understand the level of interest that I have, and she's gonna instantly fall in love with me. That's how it works, right?
Each song is going to call to a special moment that we've shared.
Yeah,
That's beautiful. I hope
yeah,
it works out. But everyone loves making a good mixtape, right? Whether you're making mix CDs, as you're growing up, or back in the day, if you're recording songs off the radio with your cassette tapes, whatever your relationship with it, the
yeah,
Spotify playlist now, right? Whatever the mindset or the tools you're using, it's the process that is just so much fun. So when we look at these specific years of the 90s that we're doing, deep dives in and tackling all the content, we had to get some sort of music theme going in here. So we're really excited to do a draft style version of this where we're going to be going down, looking at the major songs of that year. It doesn't necessarily have to be, this song was released in the calendar year of 1990, but when were people listening to it, right? When were these songs topping on the Billboard Top 100 charts? When were they really being resonated in different films that were, or TV or culture that was in that specific year? A little time capsule, right? As people travel back and are re experiencing it. So we're going to be making a mixtape. We're going to want to have a few different categories that we're bringing in here for song types. So we got a pop category, we got an alternative rock category, we got hip hop, we got country, we got dance. What's going to get you moving? What's going to get that foot tapping? We got love ballads. What
ooh,
is Dez going to feature that number one song to hook that girl
that's right.
and just have her start thinking their future life together, right? That can have some love ballads in there. And then we're going to do a little soundtrack one. We're big movie fans. We got to tie it back somehow. So this is going to be what films came out that had iconic songs in that year that people were loving, that were featured on those soundtracks. We're going to have a spot for that. Put that all together. It's going to be one awesome mixtape from the year 1990.
Yeah, if I'm making my mixtape for Sally, she's gonna have lots of love ballads on her mixtape.
I did not expect that. You snuck up on me with that one. That was great. Can you do the whole cast like that? Actually,
I
please
could
don't.
try. I could try.
Yeah, listeners would kill you. Oh man, but this is gonna be a fun one
Track
because I
number
think
4.
when you go down, like obviously with the movie side, we just did the year 1990. You had specific genres and categories. Some of those a little bit flexible. I think you're gonna have the same thing where you could have some songs that maybe they slide a little bit more on the pop side, but could also be considered rock. Maybe soundtrack, but they're also in these different categories. So it's gonna be some strategy tied to it. These are definitely gonna be pretty fun. I think there's less wrong answers than what Des would pick on the movie side, where they're traditionally all bad answers. But this one, a lot of people are going to love these different songs, and it's obviously a much deeper field than you would look at say set film releases in a year. You have a much wider pool to tap into. So I think it's just going to be really fun to go back and revisit these. Give a little bit of a preview and get the vocal cords going as we give these pitches. But Des, you have the first pick overall here. What are your thoughts going into a new draft style like this?
Yeah, I'm not terribly worried because I don't know that Macaulay Culkin had an awful lot of solo albums out in 1990. I
The
know that
Home Alone score.
I know that you like the fanboy out of Macaulay Culkin in
Got to build
1990.
a
So,
rivalry. He's in your head now.
but his vocal performances I don't think are that heavily recorded on the mixtape. So I think I'm going to be okay. I like the categories. It gives you a wide range of options here. Again, for this one, I don't know if it'd be something you could waste as a first overall pick, because this is such a wide category, such a lot of choices in all these categories, that there's really not like a goat of music in that year. I mean, you could go by like record sales or most played that year or something like that. But if you want to get real ticky tacky about the statistics of things, but I don't think this is like
Oh, I will
like
be.
an obvious choice. I know you will. I know you'll choose to do that, but I don't think there's an
Our
obvious
analytics
choice.
department's going deep in the scouting leading up to this.
I just don't know that there's an obvious choice here for the number one overall pick. So that being said, I like to stretch my legs out a little bit. I maybe starfish in my king size bed here and stretch my legs out and try something different. I'm going to take my first overall pick. I'm going to go with a completely different direction that I think that you would anticipate me going with my first overall pick. And I'm hoping that by doing this, it's going to just throw off your entire draft. Maybe it'll put you on tilt right away, and I won't have to worry about anything at all. So I'm going to go with my soundtrack right out the gate. Ship it.
Ooh.
We're primarily a movie, TV, podcast. That's our basis for our origins. I'm going to go with the soundtrack here for 1990. And for me,
I know what it is.
I look. What is it?
Well, I mean, it's no mystery that Neverending Story Chapter 2 came out that year. I'm sorry. Continue.
Did the Neverending Story theme song continue into Neverending Story Part 2?
It just doesn't stop. It's just on loop.
Just rolled over? It never ends, yeah. Well, when I looked at all the movies that came out in 1990, which we just did, we had the 1990 podcast about movies from 1990. So I got a good taste of all those movies that came out. And when I looked at all the movies that are on that list, and I think songs from those movies and which ones stick out in my mind, the first one that popped in my head, very first one, was a no-brainer for me because it's one of my favorite movies from the 90s. And, the song is iconic. The moment is iconic. And this song wasn't made in the 90s, but I'm going to go with Unchained Melody by the Righteous Brothers, which was in the movie Ghost, the most iconic pottery making scene in maybe film history. So
top 5 at least.
Yeah,
at least.
Yeah, it definitely breaks the top 5 for pottery for sure.
Yeah, and that's a good one with the soundtrack one, right? Because it doesn't have to necessarily be released in that, but like that's an iconic moment from the year 1990, right? When people are watching that movie, I would say recreating it, but like talking about it, memeing it in the year, right? So
recreating it.
That's immediately went out bought a pottery kit after he saw that scene. Like shares with Showie.
I mean, I would say probably pottery classes down at the YMCA probably picked up by at least 30% that year.
Yeah, so obviously an older song, but that's definitely iconic for the year 1990 because of that scene. So
yeah,
it's a good pick. It's definitely one of your more identifiable moments for that soundtrack category from all the releases that year.
You just picture like sitting behind Sally and just, oh my
love, and then you become a ghost.
That's it when you're dead. So
and then you're dead. Okay, I didn't think you'd be coming that strong on the soundtrack one. Little blitzkrieg coming at me here.
Yeah, tough one.
All right, okay. Like I said, there's no wrong answer. It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. You didn't mess up yet. But now I get to wait on the soundtrack one.
Yeah.
I think it's a thinner field. You got a good pick there. I got some other ones I had kind of up there, but now I get to wait. And I'm just going to start really leaning into the more top chart releases for that year. And I think there's 2 that I'm eyeing for my next 2 picks here.
Oh, that's good.
As I go down.
So.
Yeah. Yep,
You
it
don't have to
lines
just
up pretty
you can
well.
buy them, Michael. It's okay. You can just go ahead. You can go ahead and pick them up. They're yours now.
Yep. And there's a few that just immediately stick out as they go down, like, say top 100 charts, right? It's like, all right, that one I would immediately start listening to right now. This one is going to be culturally relevant even today. People are going to immediately know it, respond to it. So I got two really good choices here that I like, kind of answering you with your number one overall. So first one I'm going to like down my alt rock category.
Okay.
Yeah, I get a little bit of Billy Joel in here.
Mm.
Technically right, an '89 release, but this is when people were listening to it in the year 1990. We didn't start the fire, but it was always burning. We didn't start the fire, Mr. Billy Joel. That's gonna be such a fun one for people to listen to. Try to act like they know all the words to it.
You
Mess up,
don't.
but
You don't.
just keep pushing through it because we don't care because it's so much fun.
Yeah, you get to a
So
part. You get the part that you know the best, and you just crank it out,
everyone
and
starts
then
muttering in
the
the
rest of it's just
background.
kind of
Da, 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 Michael, da, 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 da.
Ryan started the
Right.
fire.
Right, right. So that's one where I kick this off on my mixtape here. People are going to be into it. They're going to be feeling it,
Okay.
and that's what I want. That's a response I want
Yeah.
to evoke.
I don't know if your schoolyard crush is gonna, really pick up on that one, but maybe she might be into Billy Joel. She could be there.
Yeah, I mean, I was 1 year old at this point, so I don't think any of people my at the schoolyard my age are going to be able to get through that song. But it's going to have
Yeah.
staying power. It's going to be. It's everyone loves going back to that one. And if you are that person that can drop the lyrics to the entire song, you're going to win over the crowd.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're a karaoke dark horse. If you go into that thing,
Right?
and you turn away from the screen and then you just belt it out, like
Oh
forget
my
about
God,
it.
he's
Like
doing
that's
it.
it.
He's actually
I can't go
doing
after
it.
that guy.
The son of a
I was
bitch
gonna go up
did
there and
it.
do All Star by Smash Mouth, but now I can't. There's no following that.
Yep. Great. Yeah. If you can pull off a great all timer karaoke song, if you can pull it off.
Yeah.
Next one. This is feel like a very iconic song from the year 1990 that's going to transport people right back to that year. Ice Ice Baby by Queen. I mean, by
But
Vanilla Ice. I'm sorry.
Freddie Mercury, who wrote Ice Ice Baby.
But it's such a fun one. You hear the first few chords of that song and you're immediately in, and you're having such a blast. And Vanilla Ice, I mean, come on, what more can you ask for?
Yeah.
Cool as ice,
Yeah.
baby. Ditch the zero,
I
get
mean,
with the hero.
it coined the phrase "word to your mother." I mean, I have a T-shirt that says "word to your mother" on it, in my closet right now. So
He's a
it clearly
legend.
has had an impact on me.
Right, right. So I like that as my 1-2 punch. That's my hip hop category. So we got rock and hip hop taken down.
I wouldn't have expected one of the whitest rappers out there to be the dark horse in the hip hop category, but
It's not
he was
Eminem.
pioneer. He was around before Eminem was, right? So I mean, you gotta give him some credit there. Funny, it's funny that you should pick Vanilla Ice and Ice Ice Baby because I was actually going through some nostalgia here, at my house the other day, and I came across this little gem, this little photo from when I was a kid. This was probably in the '90s, and for anyone that's just listening to the podcast and not seeing the video stream, if you look at this picture of young Dez here in his baseball photo, those are in fact Vanilla Ice stripes shaved into the side of my head there.
Are you kidding me?
So that's
Can you bring that back?
classic. The 3 lines right there. Solid Vanilla Ice. I mean, I'm not sure what year this was. I wish I had a year on this photo, but
I just can't imagine. I can't even picture Dez strutting out of that barber shop after he requested that. And just be like,
I mean, we look
Sally,
at the
eat your
team
heart
photo.
out.
Look at the team photo. No other kid has got those Vanilla Ice stripes on their head like that.
They're out
No,
there playing with daisies in the outfield. Dez is in there.
I'm a pioneer. I'm a pioneer.
Just looking at Sally in the stands.
Although 1990, I was 6. I was probably like 8 in that picture there. So I was probably a solid year behind the Vanilla Ice stripes trend at that point.
It was over, but no one had that to tell you.
I probably killed it. It was probably me.
Well, no, because you got the first Ninja Turtles came out in '90, and then you got the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2, which Vanilla Ice is in doing the song with.
Right.
So
That was 91. Yeah.
he's
So
still pretty popular. I think you're right at the tail end there,
I might have
hanging
been, yeah, I
on
might have been on the
tooth and
cusp of the
nails.
end of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, solid choice though. I like it. That's good. So I'd listen to that mixtape so far. A little Billy Joel, and then right to Vanilla Ice.
Yeah,
Good,
no,
good,
no
good
skipping
mix.
going on here.
So I got two more picks in a row now. These are my two picks to close out round 2 and start round 3. You know, the category that I find myself the weakest in, the one that I would say I listen to the least, probably the dance category. You know, you have like your bangers, your gems that will
I
all
can
stick with
confirm
you.
that as your dance is your weakest category. I've seen you on
That's
the
no,
dance
it's
floor.
dancing, yeah, in general.
A lot of dice
uh,
moving, a lot of dice rolling,
yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
Travolta,
Running
Saturday Night
Man's.
Fever.
Yeah. I'm jealous of the ones that can pull out the worm. If I could get the worm, if I could learn the worm, I would have just closed the book on the dance catalog.
You're one worm
So
away from winning Sally over at the middle school dance.
that's it. Well, you know, so the dance category, I looked at that one and I looked through the list, and again, not a huge, crazy stacked list on the dance category. Um, Probably just because it's not one of my strongest personal liked categories. But the one that stuck out for me was a little song called "Groove Is in the Heart" by D-Light, which
Grooves in the
is
heart.
I couldn't dance with another.
That's a great hook.
I mean, D-Light. I think she spells it with like 3 E's, like D-Light. I'm not sure why that is, but personal choice there, I guess.
Here's the first one, like where she's correcting people.
Right. No,
It's
that's
actually
3
Michelle with
E's.
1 L. Thank you.
She could have just gone D with like just the letter D and then like a hyphen. That would have been. And then she also went with like light, which is like Lite, kind of like light bright. Maybe light bright was probably pretty popular in the 1990s, so
Right.
it's probably where it came from.
She's got a lot going on in their branding. Gotta respect it. Respect the flex.
So you know, I'm just getting that one out of the way because you know, again, not a super deep category for me anyway, and it's catchy. It's good. You know, you that one comes on the radio. You're gonna bop your head a little bit.
I'm feeling it.
Yeah. And then you know the other one that when I was looking in the dance category, it fit into the dance category, but it's also perfectly fit into the pop category. And one of my favorite dance floor songs. You get out there, this thing comes on. White people everywhere are losing their minds. Okay, 1990 was a great year for that. For weddings in 1990 were lit. Okay, that's because as soon as Tin Roof rusted, I mean, as soon as that beat dropped, and Love Shack, that you know,
baby,
it was
Shack.
people were going nuts.
I can confess that I have danced to the song "All My Heart" at a wedding.
At a wedding, yeah. Most time at this point when it comes on, you aren't exactly sober either at the wedding. So,
Right.
so you think you're like, oh man, these moves are killing it right now. I'm killing
nice.
it. You're just going. So you got to put out the mixtape for 1990, Love Shack by the B-52s.
So I'm up with 2 here, and
good luck following Love Shack.
I know. You started to go to the B-52s market, which is good card to play.
Right?
I will
What
say.
year did Rock Lobster come out?
So when you dropped the Unchained Melody, got me thinking. I wanted to make sure I had a really solid love ballad song.
Okay.
And going down the list, I thought there would be a little bit more iconic ones from the 1990 year here. But you start going down the list, I started to have my top tier there, and then one stuck out above the rest. You're talking love ballads. You gotta get one man behind the mic.
Oh boy,
Mr. Michael Bolton.
Oh man,
I mean,
that no talent ass clown.
that's a great call out.
Oh man, no, you know, I love Michael Bolton. It's too hard to hate Michael Bolton. He's too good. He's too good.
I mean, and if his renaissance wasn't enough with the Lonely Island songs, right? With Captain Jack Sparrow and all those coming out on SNL. I mean, it's Mr. Love Ballad himself. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
So you got to bring in. How am I supposed to live without you?
Oh no.
You gotta, you
Oh
gotta.
man. If you give your mixtape to Sally and I give her mine, and that one's the first track on it, it's over. It's over. You're going to be dancing with her at the dance,
This has
and
been a giraffe to win Sally's heart.
that's it. Oh man, yeah, Michael Bolton. You can't go wrong with Michael Bolton.
Yeah,
He did a little stint with on the Teen Titans Go cartoon. He did the Teen Titans Go movie. He had a upbeat original 80s
really.
song about life. That
I
one's,
did not
if you
know
haven't
that.
heard that one,
Oh man,
solid. So he knows how to make fun of himself. He knows his audience, and he knows that he can make fun of himself with that audience. So
yeah, saying great second life.
yeah,
Most of the time, you'll see those older artists right there, kind of synonymous with certain decades, start to fall off a little bit. But he's coming back with getting some viral aspects going with him. Got to respect it.
yeah, absolutely.
So next we get. I'm really eyeing the country category here because I didn't really start getting into country till you go into the 2000s here, so I'm less familiar with the older hits that are out there.
Oh,
So if
okay.
I see one that I am aware of, I want to lock it down because I know it's going to be a pretty iconic song. In these old early 90s years, I'm probably not going to get as many deep cuts as that. So I want to get that down early and think about 90s country. There's one name that comes to mind.
Oh man, don't even do it to me. Don't even do it.
Cause I got friends in low places where the whiskey drowns and the beer chases my blues away, and I'll be okay. It's basically a song you try to sing as low as you can.
Oh
It's
yeah,
a really fun one, but that's one that's come on in so many parties. Everyone starts joining in, singing it. It's a fun song, and like I said, '90s country, just like Michael Bolton and Love Ballad, you got to lock down Garth Brooks in this spot,
yeah. Another one of those wedding songs where if it comes on, like that's it. It's you play that one a little bit later in the night when
right?
people got a little buzz going,
Yep.
and the dance floor is not going to be
Everyone's
empty.
just
So
arm in arm swaying.
yeah, it's just rocking back and forth like
Yep.
a chorus line. Man, I'm so upset at this because the 90s country for me is like my favorite country. Like
Really?
I feel like that's the category that like I might have a chance to sneak one in there on you and maybe get that category locked down. So I probably should have done that one a little earlier. Looking at the list now, Garth Brooks, that's his GOAT song right there. That's the best one he's got. He's got a lot of great ones, but Friends in Low
Yeah, it's
Places
definitely his most
is
well known one
universal.
at this point.
Yeah. So kudos to you for that one. Sally's gonna like it. She'll be a fan.
Yeah, mid draft
So
top tier talent right there.
yeah, surprised it went down this late. That's the kind of thing with these mixtapes is like this. There's a lot of talent to pull from for these.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely gonna miss some here and there, but I think we'll have that mixtape popping here by the time we're done. So that's your two in a row there. So now I get to close out this round and start the next one. Again, Vanilla Ice with the hip hop there. Very catchy, very much like an earworm that's going to get in there and you're not going to be able to stop thinking about it. I think I got to go in the same direction for some of these categories. And when I think of hip hop and I look at 1990, what came out against it, I got to go with the next obvious choice here, the next man up, and that's got to be MC Hammer. And you can't touch this. So,
Nice. That's a fun one.
yeah. I mean, it's so simple. It's so simple. It's like, can't touch this. Can't touch this.
You
Can't
just
touch
got to
this.
repeat. That's
Yeah.
one you could definitely repeatability is a little tough on a cassette tape, but repeatability
Right.
is a clutch one for
Yeah.
these songs.
As long as you got your pencil ready to put in the middle there to rewind it when it gets your tape deck eats your tape, you're fine. You're good to go. But yeah, I mean, MC Hammer, another one of those iconic hip hop songs. Could also be maybe categorized as dance as well, probably, I'm sure. But because it had its own dance, it had the hammer dance, the hammer pants. So, I mean,
Got the whole brand going.
it's solid. Yeah, solid choice in there. Not quite Vanilla Ice level, and for my opinion, but Close second. Close
Did you
second.
ever have the Vanilla Ice hair with the hammer pants?
Ooh, oh man. I feel like I had to have at some point. Like, I don't know. I definitely had like maybe not quite as big of a pair of pants as Hammered had, but I definitely had some flared out pants in the '90s at some point. So I'll try to find that one for the next cast for the '91 cast. All right, so I get to open up the next round here again. '90s country. 1990 was not a bad year, but it wasn't a stacked year for '90s country. It was just kind of winding up. It was just gearing up here and getting going. Garth Brooks had a big year. George Strait, a lot of big names there. You took the biggest name Garth Brooks song there, but when I started looking at 1990, I said Garth Brooks had like 2 or 3 other songs out that year, and one of the best ones up there, top 5 for me, got to go with "The Dance" with Garth Brooks. You had the Challenger explosion a couple years before. He wrote this song, "The Dance," about going out there and living your best life because you might not have tomorrow, and just the music video will get the tear ducts going, and solid backup choice for Garth Brooks. Not going to be top tier talent. I can't compete with Friends in Low Places, but if
So
I see your Garth Brooks and I raise you another one, so.
Unchained Melody, The Dance. I mean, Sally's gonna be feeling a little down, a little tears going down as she's listening to
Yeah,
it. I want
that's
to be
what
pumped
groove
up.
in
I want to
the
have a
grooves
good
in the heart
time.
and Love Shack will bring her back up. Don't worry.
So I know, Team Bull's gonna have a good time. We're gonna hang out with that guy.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's time for your two picks for you right in a row here. So let's see how we can add to this mixtape. Let's keep the groove going.
So I was a little worried with you going aggressive with soundtrack, but I like how it's playing out because I'm just plugging top tier songs across the board. We
Okay.
mentioned country when I got that knocked down. 1990, why not bring in the top song of the year? Why
Here we
not?
go with the analytics. We're
Analytics, the numbers don't lie. And I got my pop category still open.
Oh, okay.
So this is a song that was always fun, but had a little bit of a renaissance with a comedy that I love. One of my favorite comedies out there, Bridesmaids. And when that ending credits started to queue up and you started to see him, someday somebody's gonna meddle. I got to do that again. Someday somebody's gonna make you want to turn around and say goodbye.
Say
Until then,
goodbye.
baby, you're gonna make him hold you down, make you cry. Don't you know? Do you know? Things can go your way. I'm completely offbeat, but you get it. You get it.
Yeah,
Hold
I
on,
got it.
Wilson Phillips. You got the Bridesmaids girls. Fist pumping in unison. Number one
Was
song
Wilson Phillips?
of the
Was that
year.
like? Was that like the last name of each of the girls? Was one of them last name Wilson and the other one Phillips? Is that how they came up with the name?
I have no idea.
I don't
Be a
know
good
either.
tidbit.
Yeah, you probably should look that up since it's your pick.
Okay, D-Light.
Come on.
For whatever reason, maybe like
She
Brian.
has
I don't know.
3 E's.
You're just throwing stuff out there to see what sticks. But regardless of how they came up with the name, it's still the number one song of 1990 that I'm getting in the 5th round. Thank you very much.
All right. Good value there. I can't argue that. If that song's coming on, I'm not going to not sing Hold On by Wilson Phillips. So
it's a good road trip car song, right?
Yeah.
Comes on, kind of a slow burn. You get into it, and then the chorus comes on. Bum,
Yeah.
bum, bum.
Maybe you're in an elevator and you hear like the non-lyric version on the radio in the elevator. You're like, you're going to sing it. You're not going to, doesn't matter if it's strangers on either side of you.
Yep. Things will go your way if you hold on for one more day. If you hold on. It's a fun one. It's a fun one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
now looking at it, I got soundtrack left. I got dance. And that's it. So
soundtrack and dance. Wow.
I got one of these categories I'm knocking down now, and then I have to wait till the end of the draft for the next one. I'm going to keep way on soundtrack. I'm going to make you sweat it out a little bit. Can I match your number one overall pick with my last pick? It's something the listeners will be talking about coming off the draft. But I'm going to take down my dance one. You got a good solid one over there with some D-Light. Well, I got another one. You go down, you start listening to it. It's one part just your foot's tapping with it. It's another part. It's kind of like a pre-game sort of pump up one. It's going to get the blood flowing. That's what you want. When you kick on that one, you get people going on the dance floor. How about some pump up the jam? Pump it up. Pump up the jam. Technotronic. Another great name. That doesn't scream dance song. I don't know what will.
Yeah. Yeah. One hit wonders. I don't think they had anything else beyond Pump Up the Jam, right?
Technotronic's discography is amazing. You got to go
visit that. They are on every single Jock Jams album that was ever made.
Probably. And I don't know how they came up with the name Dez, if you're going to grill me on that. So we just.
It must be like the Technodrome, like Ninja Turtles, maybe. No, that's a good one there. Yeah, that's a solid 90s dance jam. And as soon as it comes on, like it's like din, 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 din. Like the bass gets in there. It's like you just know it's coming. It'll get you going. I think of like this other 90s song that they used that in. I don't think it was 1990 though, so maybe it was the year after 91, but there was a Leslie Nielsen movie called Repossessed. It's a underrated comedy in the style of like Naked Gun.
Yeah,
basically makes fun of like horror movies and like The Exorcist.
Yeah.
And they use that song. It's for I don't know why, like forever in my life. Like, no, I do know why, but I probably shouldn't say it on the podcast. It's probably completely inappropriate. But
I could be due for a Leslie marathon.
Yeah, those movies were influential for me growing up. The Naked Guns and the comedies. Like nobody did it better than Leslie Nielsen. So
yeah,
you get a horror movie, which is one of my favorite genres, and then you get Leslie Nielsen making fun of it. Okay, I'm on board. So Pump Up the Jam was part of that, and that'll forever stick with me, I think.
So now let's closing the 6 of those 7. You're finalizing your mixtape here with these picks.
This is
you gotta go out on a high note.
I've got 2 pretty good size categories here. I mean, these are 2 pretty important songs to go on the mixtape. Sally, this is a make or break moment for her. I've got the love ballad and I've got the alternative or rock song. I mean, the love ballad's got to seal the deal. I think that's got to be the last one I got to pick to seal the deal and the tape to really just put a stamp on the envelope, I
still love that this is why I'm just like, let's make a mixtape to like, let's win over Sally's heart.
Well, it gives me a motivation to keep recording these songs on the radio because it sucks. How long you gotta stand there and hold that microphone up to the speaker. Then your little sister comes in, she starts talking, you're like, shut up, I'm doing something.
Mom, I'm said I'm busy.
I told you to knock first. So I got my last 2 picks here. We had the other podcast about the 90s movies. In that podcast, one of my picks was a little movie starring Emilio Estevez. Came out in 1990. And Young Guns too. And that soundtrack, I already have my soundtrack spot put up, but I'm going to slide this guy right up into the rock category here. I'm going to go with Blaze of Glory by the one and only, probably top 5 icons of rock, Bon Jovi. I mean, come on.
Bon Jovi.
Blaze of Glory comes on. You're not changing the station. You're not doing it.
You're making me sweat over here having my soundtrack pick still left.
I'm just trying to steal them away. Just pick and choose. Just to take all the ones I need. So
I will have the Hard to Kill theme song.
I'll take the Dances with Wolves instrumental soundtrack. So yeah, Blaze of Glory, solid soundtrack song, but also great in the rock category. So I'm gonna lock that guy in there. And then I got to close out this draft. I got to just put the stamp on the mixtape here. So just make sure that Sally knows I really care for her. I love ballad.
Pull the heartstrings.
It's gonna be hard to top Michael Bolton. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if I can do it, but I'm gonna try. Looking through the list of all the songs, one of the ones that came to mind for me here kind of had a very Wilson Phillips type feel to it, and when it comes on the radio, and you would just kind of sing along to it a little bit here. I think it's Roxette. It's their hit. It must have been love. It must have been love,
but it's
but it's
over
over
now.
now.
So you're saying it's over?
So, well, she could take it one of two ways. It could go either way. So.
I got Bolton over here saying, "I can't be without you. Come on, let's get together." I think
but
that's.
If I tell her that it must have been love, maybe she's like, "Oh, mate, wait, you're right. It must have been. You're right. It must have been love." So
that feeling inside, it must have been love.
Yeah. So I guess I should probably ask him to dance next time we have a dance.
I will say, I think you've had some questionable picks throughout this. I got you on tilt.
Listen, 1990 was a weird year. Okay.
I think that's a top tier pick at the end of the draft.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
For it to fall this late.
Must Have Been Love is a great classic 90s song.
Roxette, 1990 Roxette was right in their prime. So
yeah.
They had what was the other song they had? I think it was also a soundtrack song. Wasn't I don't know.
I'm just curious, how did they get their band name?
They used 2 T's in Roxette, just so you know.
Spelling is key.
Yeah.
So it's back over to me to close out my mixtape.
Soundtrack.
Been building up. I got the soundtrack one left.
Mm.
And this one's a little flexible, right? Because I don't have to necessarily be within that 1990 year, but what's iconic from the movies of that year? So some different angles to play. I think there's one other option out there outside of Unchained Melody. It's a great pick. Went early, understandable. But to close out the draft with this, I think it's going to hold up. I'm going to just drop you this.
Okay, I'm ready.
Pretty woman walking down the street. Pretty woman. I mean, one of the best movies of the 1990 is the year 1990 is Pretty Woman. So you have the title track. They're bringing it back for that soundtrack, and everyone knows that scene. She's going around her shopping spree, trying on all the dresses, and it's a classic 1990 moment right there that we're pulling from for the last pick for my soundtrack spot.
Good choice. When you first started singing it, I wasn't quite sure where you're going with it at first. I was like, is he like singing the theme songs of the Blues Brothers right now? Like, you're like,
yeah, I get
the yeah. Roy Orbison, great classic rock singer there, being revitalized his career for Pretty Woman. Do you think the title came first, or do you think the movie came first? I'm always curious about those things because, like, the song's been around much longer than that movie was ever before the movie was ever written.
Right, or when they realized they wanted to include that song, do they say, "Oh, this title works"?
Yeah, like, did they title it Pretty Woman and then they had to go get Pretty Woman rights using it in the movie, or did they already have the song and they're like, let's just figure out what this is about because now we have the title.
Yeah, it's a great movie title.
Yeah, you should have looked that up too.
Damn it. Maybe you should have done your research, Mike.
Zing! No, it's a good choice. I'm surprised that went down that late. It's good.
I'm just over here trying to have a good time, listen to some good tunes, and over here he's grilling my backstory on each of these.
Yeah. Well, Sally's got her work cut out for her, I think, with these two mixtapes. I'll run down my list here, and then you can remind everyone of your losing one. So Sally's got a good mix here. She's got Love Shack. She got Blaze of Glory by Bon Jovi. She got You Can't Touch This by MC Hammer. The Dance by Garth Brooks. Get right in the feels. Unchained Melody. She can't not think of Ghost when she's listening to that one. And Groove Is in the Heart by D-Light. And It Must Have Been Love by Roxette. So again, she's probably it's just gonna melt her little heart. And she's gonna just, next time recess rolls around, it's over.
She's gonna have an okay time. It's a lot of downers, a lot of slow playing ones. She's gonna just have a good time with my mixtape, and that's what you want from a mixtape. You want to get people going, people involved. Got the pop song, from Wilson Phillips. If you hold on for one more day. And then we're going to have just a fun join in one. We didn't start the fire. Mr. Billy Joel. Ice, ice, baby. Mr. Vanilla
It's
Ice.
David Bowie, right?
Right. Because I got friends in low places. The best song from the best country artist of the decade. And it's fun. Fine, you got his second best one, but I'll take the best one.
Yeah.
Pretty Woman from a soundtrack pick. Iconic song from that movie. And then Pump Up the Jams from the classic band Technotronic for my dance slot. And then my love ballad, Mr. Michael Bolton, How Am I Supposed to Love? How am I supposed to live without you? I'm already thinking about love. How am I supposed to live without you?
How am I supposed to love without living you? See, if you
Still
mix
works.
that up,
Still works.
If you write love instead of live on the mixtape, it's just gonna creep her right out. Like, ew, no, ew.
But she's gonna love it. She's gonna love it.
Well, Sally, if you're out there listening, let us know who has your heart.
Flash forward, she's gonna be wearing my varsity jacket. We're going to prom together.
That's it. So, well, this is the fun one. I like this. This is a new category for us to dabble into the music realm of things, and I think we're gonna like this one. I think.
Yeah, it's fun. Doing these back to back, right? Going through the whole decade, you get that full lay of the land, right? Doing the movies, seeing the music, get some sports in there, right? And then,
yeah,
as you go through, each year is going to be a new playing field. It's going to be fun. So we're going to keep this going with 1991 coming up next. Definitely look forward to it.
Oh man, I can't wait for all those songs.
And some have said, not me, some have said that I'm really an expert in the year 1991 in terms of the fun facts, the backstory on artists and how they came to be. So I'm just warning you. You better be ready.
Well, the listeners are taking a mental note of all of this. So when that next episode drops, you better be living up to the hype. There better be full on deep dive into the backstories of why Phil Collins didn't write this song and he wrote that song instead.
I redrafted with one of those quarterback playbooks on my wrist.
Yeah, I just
flip it on.
Hey, whatever works,
Yep.
As long as you can tell me what the hell Wilson Phillips came from. I'll be perfectly fine.
Maybe that's who they wrote the song for. A guy named Wilson Phillips.
Yeah.
All right, and that closes us out. And we're gonna go listen to this full mixtape now. It's gonna be fun.
Absolutely. Yeah. If you don't put these on any mixes you're listening to, that's something wrong.
Yep. All right, we'll catch you on the next one. See you, buddy.
Yep.